Hello students, today we're going to prove something by using a table. It's going to be triangles today. All right. Anyway, let's start with the first problem. Okay, so let's take a look. It says given x, y, and tr bisect each other. Okay, so that's given. And we have to prove that this triangle is congruent to that triangle. We're going to use a table today, okay? Before we get started though, we want to know what type of conditions we're going to use for why those two triangles are congruent. So let's go ahead and take a look first. All right, so we know that they bisect, very similar to midpoint. Okay, so therefore we know that this side right here should be the same as that side. That's what bisect mean. Okay, I mean they cut, if it's an angle, it's cutting the angle in half, sides, cutting the sides in half, making them equal. Okay, so they bisect each other, so that side should be congruent to that side. And then we also know vertical angles at that angle is congruent to that angle right there. So it looks like we have side, angle, side. So I'm gonna prove by using side, angle, side. All right, so you always wanna do that first, okay? Now to prove something, you always wanna write down your statement. And why are you writing down those statements? Like, what's your reason? All right. Now, keep in mind that you are trying to be like a lawyer, like I said before. Okay, so you can't just say something. You can't just say XV is congruent to YV. You can't just say that. Okay, you got to give a reason first of how did you get that. Okay, so that's why you always want to do the given first. All right. So number one, let's write down the given. Okay. X, Y, and T are bisect each other. All right, and that's given. Okay, now that's going to lead us to, oh, by the way, you make sure you want to write down side, angle, side going down this way. Okay, so that will lead us to the first side. All right, so XV is congruent to YV. So for number two, XV is congruent to YV. Okay, so we know that's congruent because of this one here. Okay, so definition of bisector. All right, now we have our first side. Now you don't have to write this part down, but that's our side right there. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Now we have to state down the angle. So those two angles are the same. So number three, angle XVR is congruent to angle YVT. YVT. And the reason why is because vertical angles are congruent. Okay, vertical angles are congruent. There you go. Now we have our angle. Okay, now all we're missing now is another side. And we can use the same side like RV is congruent to TV. For RV is congruent to TV. All right, and that is a definition again, because the reason why we got those two being the same is because it's a bisector. So definition of bisector. All right, now that's another side. Okay, again, we don't need to write this part down, but you know, that's gonna lead us, okay? Now we can state, we already found the three we're looking for, so 5. So that we can state down the triangle, so my bad, triangle, we could use one here, XVR is congruent to XRV, my bad. XRV is congruent to triangle TYV, TYV, and then what's the reason? By side, angle, side. All right, you have any question, let me know, but that's our first one, number 2. All right, so anyway, same thing. Let's go ahead and investigate first. So given AV is perpendicular to BC, AV is perpendicular to BC. Okay, so that will make that 290-degree angle. Now, if you want to, you can use like a blue or red pen to know that, okay, I just put those two in. That's not given. All right, and then AV bisect BAC. So AV bisects, so then therefore these two are the same because of the bisector. Okay, now they want us to prove that angle P, or in this case it's angle, oh my bad, let's just write the, probably my mistake there, but angle B is congruent to angle C. There you go. Now we have to prove that those two angles are the same. All right, okay, let's get started. So let's write down the statement. And this is our reasons. All right, so let's get started. Number 1, again, you want to do the given first, okay? AV is perpendicular to BC, Okay, that's given. AV bisect angle BAC. Okay, that's also given. All right, now let's go ahead and, oh, my bad. This is, let's go back again. Let's say this is angle, side angle. Okay, angle, side angle. All right, there you go. You always want to do that first so you know what you're looking for. Okay, now let's go ahead and do the angle first. Okay, let's see here. Let's go and do that angle right there and that angle right there. Okay, 3. Angle BVA is congruent to angle CVA. So BVA, CVA. Okay, now we know that because it's a definition of perpendicular. Definition of perpendicular. Four. Now we just do a side. AV is congruent to AV, so side, that's not an angle, my bad. AV is congruent to AV, and that is that's a reflexive property. Now you can say, you know, AV is congruent to AV because, you know, they're the same side, or the same side, or the sides are the same, so they're congruent, something like that. All right. Number 5. Again, these are just reason why you're given it, okay? All right, so now we have our angle, side, and then we're missing our angle. Let's go and do that one right there. So angle, let's go with BAV is congruent to angle angle CAV. All right, and that is, again, that's a definition of bisector. That's how we got those two angles the same. So definition of bisector. All right, now we have to state, now we have our angle, side, angle, my bad. So now we could just say, okay, triangle. Now wait a minute, didn't ask us to prove a triangle is congruent. They asked us to find the angles, but we need to state down the angles, the triangles are congruent first for this reason, and let's go and do that first, okay? So triangle, let's just say triangle BAV is congruent to triangle CAV, and that is by side, angle, side, angle, okay? Now, this one here, once you prove a triangle is congruent, then the parts of the triangles are congruent, okay? So let's go and write that down. Angle B is congruent, see, is congruent to angle C, and it is called congruent triangle, has congruent parts, okay? So congruent triangle has congruent parts. And you could just write down those acronyms like that, and you're good enough. All right, and again, you have any questions, let me know. But again, that's all you do, is just write that down. Once you need to prove that the triangle is congruent first, so if they ask for parts, then this is to represent the parts, okay? Last problem, all right? Let's take a look. They're saying that AB is parallel to DC. AB is parallel to DC. So we know that this is parallel to this guy right over here. All right, and they also say that AD is parallel to BC. So this is parallel to this one right there. All right. Now, by doing that, we need to prove that these two triangles are the same. We know that BD is congruent to BD. So I'm gonna just go ahead and do that right now. Okay. Now let's take a look, and parallel lines, we did this last class, just try to remember. Okay, so let's just say that these two are parallel. This is your A, this is your B, and this is a line right here. All right, therefore, just by looking, I realized that that angle right there, which is this angle here, that angle is that angle, okay? That angle should be the same as this angle right here. It's called alternate interior. All right, so therefore I should know that that angle right over there is the same as that angle right there. All right, because it's parallel lines, okay? Now let's go ahead and do it the other way. AD is congruent to BC, and that's the line over there, okay? Just by looking at that one there, I should know that this angle right over here, which is that angle right over here, okay, is the same as this angle over here. That's also alternate interior, making that angle the same as this one. All right, so it looks like just by doing that, I have angle, side, angle. Okay, angle, side, angle. All right, I'm ready to go. I'm writing fast and messy because I don't want this video to be too long, okay? Number one, so let's do our given. AB is parallel to DC. All right, and that's given. 2 AD is parallel to BC. It's also given. All right, let's draw a line like that. My bad, sorry. 3. All right, so we're gonna do angle, side, angle. Okay, so let's do this angle first. So angle CDB is congruent to this angle, so ABD. All right, you could just, you could just write down alternate interior angles are congruent. So now we have the two sides. DB is congruent to DB, and then reflexive property. 5. Now let's go and do angle. Let's go with CBD. CBD. It should be that one right there. So we saw with C, go with this one here. So let's go to ADB. And this one here again. All right, so let's finish up. Sorry, the video shut down. I have to redo it. But anyway, so angle CBD is congruent to angle ADB. And that is by same thing, alternate interior. Or congruent. All right, now we got our angle, side, angle, and you don't need to write that part down. Number 6. So therefore, we already proved it. So triangle ABD is congruent to triangle CDB by angle, side, angle. And that is it. Thank you. And remember, guys, if you have any questions, go ahead and email or Zoom with me. Okay, you can always pause, rewind, and go back. If you have any questions again, just come talk to me. All right, thank you and have a great day.